Sam Monson from Check the Mike podcast, he and Steve Palazzolo, talking about why they think the Browns' off-season additions are underrated.
I think this is a crazy grading. I think this is utterly ridiculous, in fact. Again, starting point, Myles Garrett demanded a trade. Instead of trading one of the best players in the NFL, they've extended him and got him locked into a new contract, albeit, one of the most expensive contracts in the NFL. But they've gone from their best player wanted at the door to he's happy again. That's good, right? The only criticism you could give them is I thought drafting where they were, number 2 overall, is a potential gift and a way out of their quarterback hell that, as you so rightly say, they put themselves in with the worst move in NFL history in Deshaun Watson. You can debate how they got there, but they ended up with the quarterback I would have taken at number 2. Like, I would have taken Shedeur Sanders just because I think they need a way out of that. They got him in the 5th round. So they got the same guy, and they're paying him like a fraction of the money they would be paying him if they got him at number 2. And they got an extra roll of the dice, like a bonus lottery ticket with Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round as well. So, and you can argue that if they didn't think that those 2 guys really had a chance of being that answer, that their process is way better than mine, right? Why? We don't think he's worth this spot, so we're going to trust that that the draft is correct, and we'll let him slide till day 3, and then we'll make a couple of moves and trade down and pick up the extra 1st round pick next year.
So, G. Bush, again, it's interesting. Here's the additions when you look at them. It's Graham, Schlesinger, Judkins, Sampson, Fannin, the quarterbacks. Let's take the quarterbacks out of that equation. We'll talk about them in a minute. How many of those guys, the 2 running backs, Graham, Schlesinger, Fannin, do you need to see as impact players to think that the draft has been a success?
Well, listen, I would need to. First of all, I'll start with what I think they're going to get out of that. Schlesinger is a starter. Judkins is a starter. We talked about Mason Graham last segment. He's a starter. That's 3 right there. I think Harold Fannin Jr. can potentially, with the way that the sets they're going to look, if you look at the snaps and the reps at the end of the year, I think he'll have starter-type snaps at tight end. I also think they'll move him around, play some little H-back, little fullback. He'll be on the field a lot. Dylan Sampson is a guy who I think is going to be battling with Jerome Ford for third down carries, but I love Dylan Sampson. I give him a lot of touches, and I'd have him playing early and often. When you look at him, I think they still like Jerome Ford, but he's going to be a person that you will see get carries. So if you look at it from that standpoint, we just named off the first 3 or 4 guys that are going to be starters, and that's what you need in terms of having a season where you say, okay, how are we going to judge this from a draft standpoint? How many starters did you get? And I think they're sitting at 3 and a possible. Fannin will play a lot because they love tight end sets, if that's what they're going to go back to. And you got Dylan Sampson, who I think is going to get touches and carries in this offense because they're going to want to run the ball and do some other things as well. I think that's one of the reasons why they haven't done anything at wide receiver, because they feel, all right, we have Dylan Sampson, we have Harold Fannin Jr. Those guys are going to be guys that are going to be a part of our passing game in some aspect, maybe not down the field pass catchers. But I think that's one of the things that we look at in terms of this draft class. And I think you wouldn't be hard pressed to say that you get 4 starters out of the guys that we watched. And you should say that because of what they did in college and where they transitioned and the empty glaring holes that you got, especially with Schlesinger and JOK.